AOC recently weighed in on the immigration debate. Let's see what she had to say.
Now, the first thing I want to say is that the fact that this keeps happening over and over and over again is a political failure by both parties. And I want to be very clear about that because I don't want to draw false equivalence. What is happening here is not the same as what happened during the Trump administration, where they took babies out of the arms of their mothers and deported their families and permanently traumatized these children, some of whom we don't know will ever be reunified with their family again, which is a level of human rights violation that is just simply not the same. Both of these things are barbaric and they're wrong. But when you rip a baby out of the hands of a mother, you cannot draw the same comparison. And anyone who is trying to do that is doing a profound disservice to the cause of justice. So I don't want to excuse any of this, but I don't think we should also get them twisted together because one is not the same. And we cannot dust that under the rug. And by the way, those families are owed reparations, period.
Okay, now I don't want to come down too hard here, as if it really matters what I say, honestly. But if these are the people that are going to be representing us, then there's no way we advance, i.e. the left. If these are the people that are going to be representing us and going before the rich, the powerful, the elites, we're not going to get anywhere. So she weighs in here on the subject of immigration. As you know, this has been a huge problem for the United States for a really long time now. This isn't anything new, okay? But, people pick and choose when they want to talk about certain things, and, that's just human nature, okay? And so now, the right wingers and what have you are coming out in full force, and now, they're so distraught and so upset about the treatment of the treatment of immigrants. You had Ted Cruz going down to one of the facilities recording and all this stuff. Sean Hannity's been talking about it nonstop. Now all of a sudden they care so fucking much, right? On the Trump administration, they couldn't give a fuck less, but that's neither here nor there. But this has been a reoccurring problem. And a principled person, which wasn't what you just saw, that wasn't principled whatsoever, would come out and they would condemn it, all of it. They would condemn all of it on its own right, on its own merit. If you're principled and if what you believe in is actually what you believe in, you wouldn't draw lines and say that certain things are false equivalences. You see, these are the people that are supposed to be representing us, i.e. the left, right? And what we want them to do is to go at everyone that doesn't agree with us, which is the Democrats and the Republicans. Neither party are our ally, okay? We're pretty much a faction of our own, and what we want to do is take over the Democratic Party. But this will not be done in a kumbaya effort. This will be a hostile takeover, okay? We will have to do it by force. And this isn't forceful. This isn't letting the people know, oh, okay, well, look, the Democrats and the Republicans, they're both bad. Okay, you want to say, okay, well, maybe not equally bad, but you can't spare these people the way that she just spared the Democrats here by saying, oh, well, okay. She starts off saying that both parties are doing bad with immigration and what have you, but it's just not the same. The Republicans, they're just so much worse. Well, I call that partisanship bullshit, hacky partisanship bullshit. And that's why things will never get done. Because if you don't hold everyone accountable equally, then I don't really know what to tell you. And they don't have to respect you either. They obviously don't respect you because they don't adhere to any of your ideas or try to implement any of the policies that you put up. And I want to read to you a Glenn Greenwald tweet. He says, the Nazi-like concentration camps run by the Democratic are better than the Nazi concentration camps that were run by the Republicans. They were built by the Democrats. AOC is really by far the most effective and devoted salesperson for the Democratic Party when it comes to the left. And this rings so true and so familiar because it's always the left, our elected representatives, the Justice Democrats, that are always bolstering a party that could give a fuck less about them and constantly takes them for granted, constantly takes their supporters for granted. And it's so sad to see how weak these people are. They're cucks to power, and they don't want to challenge power because they're scared of being hated and maligned against. See, a principled person with a solid stance on immigration would have came out, would have stated what they believed in, and they would have attacked both parties and just let it be that. They wouldn't have drawn lines in the sand and spared either or and said, oh, well, these people are so much worse. Well, let me provide for you a couple of facts. During the Obama administration, he deported more people than Donald Trump did. What do you make of that? Now, some people might push back and say, oh, well, the people that Obama deported were, they were mostly criminals, people that hadn't been there for a long time. Donald Trump was just kind of parading around deporting whoever. But the fact still stands. I mean, they called the guy deporter in chief, for God's sake. And this goes back to the $15 minimum wage. No fight at all. No fight at all. Nothing. Ro Khanna and the others, they wrote a letter, sent it to Joe Biden. You know what he did with their letter? Ripped it up, threw it away, because it means nothing. They're not going to leverage their vote. They're not going to withhold their vote to not vote for the bill to get the $15 minimum wage on it. And then here we go with immigration, still coddling the Democratic Party and making up excuses. That's exactly what that was. That's exactly what it was. It's the same thing with the $2,000 checks, which ultimately became $1,400 checks. All the Justice Democrats, all the lefty people in Congress, instead of fighting back and saying, no, you said they were $2,000 checks, they immediately folded and went, oh, yeah, okay, $1,400. It's like, what the fuck? It's insane. Like, that's not what you were sent there for. You were sent there to fight, and to fight for the policies and the values that we hold near and dear. And I'm not seeing any of that. I'm really not. I'm seeing a bunch of people that are weak and that are just going along to get along. And it's not to be understated. We need to underscore that the pressures of the powerful and of those people in Washington is real. And I get it. Once you arrive there, you may be under intense and immense pressure to kind of subside and, give your subservience to the people that have been there for so very long, those corrupted individuals. But I have no excuses for you, because that's why you were sent there, to oppose all of that. And you're falling victim to it. And it's quite sad to see. Look, as far as immigration goes, it's not a good situation, and there are solutions to the problem. But as far as immediate solutions, I don't really know. I'm just a guy on YouTube giving you my opinion, presenting this information to you as I see it. And, I would just say, probably the most stark thing that needs to be done is the ending of the drug war. Okay, that is making so many people leave their place that they've lived their entire lives to escape violence, homelessness, whatever the case may be, because of our treatment of drugs. Okay, drugs need to be taxed and regulated. Okay, and the living conditions, the treatment of these people, the facilities are overcrowded, especially with COVID. There are experts that deal with this and that can come up with the solutions. It's just a matter of doing so. And it won't be easy. I'm not trying to make it seem like it's going to be easy. And one thing she talked about in her Instagram live session, because she talked about this on a multitude of outlets, she brought up imperialism in our foreign policy and our meddling in foreign entities and foreign countries and what have you, Bolivia, Venezuela, all the like. And at the end there, she talks about reparations. These are a couple of solutions, what you want to call it, financial assistance or whatever, to other countries to get them back on their feet. And it's not solely on us. There are other factors at play. But overall, this constant going along to get along, not standing firm, not taking a position that's in opposition of the people that you are aligning yourself with, that you shouldn't be aligning yourself with, because they will never have your back, but you always seem to have theirs. It makes absolutely no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. And if this is the person, if these are the people that are supposed to be leading the way, then we're never going to get anywhere. The left is going to remain lost, and it's going to remain simply a movement because there's nobody that's willing to stand in front of the rich and the powerful and actually fight against them. There's nobody really willing to do that. I mean, we have the likes of Bernie Sanders that doesn't care what the media say about him. But Bernie Sanders has his slip ups. You know, he calls Joe Biden his friend and all the rest. I don't want to get into that. But look, man, something has to change, and something has to change quickly. Nina Turner is running for Congress. I recommend anybody that comes across this video to support her only if you can. Maybe she's the bridge that can get us across. Maybe her, introduction into Washington can provide for these other Justice Democrats a backbone, a spine. But we'll just have to wait and see. But this wasn't good. It really wasn't good. Something has to change, and something has to change quickly.